The UEFA Champions League is just a few weeks away and it is going to be like nothing we have ever seen before. With the competition taking on a new 36-team league phase format, the hype around this year's tournament is at an all-time high. With the draw confirming the 8 matches that each of the teams will play in the league phase, we now know where and when the 144 league phase games will be taking place. Today, we go over my predictions for this season's new format, as well as who I think will be crowned the champion in 8 months' time. The Champions League is nearly here, so let's predict how it will play out. Back when the tournament followed the 32-team group stage format, making a predictions video like this would have been much easier. But since this is a new format for all of us, things aren't exactly smooth sailing. There's no predictor online or an easy to use method to make this prediction other than doing it the old-fashioned way. I've gone ahead and predicted each game myself and finalized the league table, which is what we'll be using for this video. Starting off the table is Real Madrid, who I predict will go 8 for 8 in the first stage, topping the table in style. Next up is Bayern Munich, who will play out a thrilling 2-2 draw with PSG at home while winning the other 7 matches. Manchester City will finish in 3rd place, but will still go without a defeat in their 8 games. Last year's runners-up Dortmund will impress us all once again, suffering only 1 defeat to Real Madrid. Barcelona will have an impressive campaign under Hansi Flick, finishing in 5th place with 17 points. Inter Milan will be right under them in 6th place, just behind Barcelona on goal differential. Liverpool will slot right into the 7th spot, also on 17 points with a +8 goal differential. And to finish off the top 8, surprise guest Leipzig will blow us all away and secure a direct spot in the round of 16. These are my predictions for the top 8 who will skip the playoff round while they await the results of the knockout playoffs. Continuing on to the middle of the table, Leverkusen will just miss out on direct qualification as they finish 9th on 17 points with a +6 goal differential. Benfica will be a surprise team in 10th place, finishing with 16 points. Juventus will be rather disappointing as they finish in 11th and have to fight to stay in the competition. AC Milan will be the other Italian team joining them in 12th spot, but not far behind their rivals. Atalanta makes up the Italian trio as they finish with 5 wins and 3 losses in 13th place. Atletico Madrid will have a very rough time in the league phase, finishing in an underwhelming 14th place. Sporting CP will be the other Portuguese side in the knockout playoffs, fighting to stay in the tournament as well. And finally, the biggest shock of the league phase will be PSG, who will have an awful time in their first 8 games as they have one of the hardest schedules ahead of them. These 8 teams make up the first half of the knockout playoff round as they will be hosting the second leg of their elimination game. Next up on the list are Stuttgart, who will finish in 17th place after some impressive performances at home. Following them in 18th place will be Arsenal, who will severely underachieve in this tournament and might not even make the round of 16. Next up in 19th place are another English side in Aston Villa, who I believe are one of the wildcard teams in this year's tournament. In 20th spot we have Girona, who will try their best to emulate their success that they had last season in La Liga. Afterwards, we have Dinamo Zagreb in 21st place, who will suffer from their relatively poor goal differential. Just behind them in 22nd place will be Red Star Belgrade, who will be hoping to qualify for the round of 16 for the first time in the modern era. In 23rd place will be Ukrainian side Shakhtar Donetsk, who will struggle without a home venue but will manage some surprises along the way. And the last team to make the cut will be Salzburg in 24th place, who will be the final team to qualify for the knockout playoff. These 8 teams will have the misfortune of hosting the first leg of their elimination games, and they truly have a giant task ahead of them. The final 12 teams will be eliminated from the tournament and from European competition altogether. Feyenoord and Club Brugge will manage 2 wins each, but it won't be enough to sneak into the playoff rounds. Lille will finish with 6 points, but too many draws and losses will end their suffering relatively quickly. Bologna, Celtic and Brest will each finish with 4 points, with 3 wins and 18 losses between them being enough to make even the most loyal fans look away. PSV is my pick for the most disappointing team in this year's tournament, and my hot take is that they won't come away with even a single win. Sparta Praha, on the other hand, will manage to get their sole victory against Brest, but that won't be nearly enough to qualify. Young Boys and Sturm Graz will both manage to get 2 points each, going winless in this year's competition. And finally, Monaco and Slovan Bratislava will find themselves at the bottom of the league table with 1 point each. These 12 teams will make up the bottom of the league table and will have to try their luck again next year. So there you have it, these are my predictions for this year's Champions League. It's nearly impossible for me to predict the rest of the tournament as the fixtures in the knockout playoffs and every round after that will be randomized. But when those fixtures are known, you can definitely expect another video. In the meantime, my pick for this year's Champions League winner is Manchester City. I know that the safe pick is choosing Real Madrid because of how good they are and the fact that they have Kylian Mbappe on their team now, but something inside me is saying that this experiment isn't going to click immediately and it could take a season or 2 for them to go all the way. Bayern Munich is another good shout, but I don't think first season coach Vincent Kompany has what it takes to lead this team to glory. Personally, I would love to see Barcelona go all the way under Hansi Flick as they have a very fun and vibrant young team, but I see them making it to the semi-finals at best. Something about Erling Haaland in this new format is calling my name, and I see the boys in blue going all the way. But what do you think of my Champions League predictions? There's a million different ways that this season can play out with this new format, so go ahead and give me your best and worst takes in the comments below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more football content, tier lists, and everything in between, and as always, I'll catch you next time.